Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's that time again. Got iced coffee because it's hot here. You might be able to hear the ice wrinkling around in there, kind of shaking. It's been quite the interesting week here. Don't know how it is for you all, but around here it's been a little bit chaotic. It's been busy. Students have been so busy submitting lessons. We've been having so much come in. It's just been fabulous. I think Monday when we came in, there were more than 3 pages of student submissions ready to be graded. So good for you. Thank you for keeping us on our toes. That's important. Then the other thing that happened is our air conditioning went out. Yeah. It's hot in here. I've got my jacket on and I'm like, okay, I'm not sure how long it's going to last because it is so hot, but have to look professional, you know. Anyway, it's going to be fun. We're going to cool off with hot flowers. That'll make it fun. That always makes it better. Remember, if you're on your phone, turn it sideways for a bigger picture. If you're on your desktop, you can go full screen. If you're on your TV, well, oh my gosh, I'm larger than life. In the studio with me, we've got Carolyn and Marisa, so they'll be verbalizing your comments and questions, so please type away. We love to hear from you. From afar, we have teacher Michelle and Caledonia on Facebook. Caledonia may or may not be with us. She was having some internet issues, so I haven't heard exactly, but I know teacher Michelle is there. And on YouTube, we've got Susie, so we've got you covered. Introduce yourself, say hi, get started. We're talking a celebration with flowers. Yes, celebration with flowers. Because although it is COVID-19, there are issues, all those things, the reality is we still have celebrations. We still have exciting times in our lives. You just have to work a little harder sometimes to make it be perfect and to keep your spirits up. And I think celebrations are one of the best ways to do that. Weddings continue. They're smaller. They're more intimate. Oftentimes they're in the backyard or on the front porch. Birthdays still occur with small events for family and very close friends at home. Drive-bys and parades and all of that. And in all of those scenarios, the one factor that can really make it be fabulous is flowers. Bringing flowers in. I don't care how small the event is, even if it's just you, one person, taking the time to add flowers in your life makes everything so much better. Putting a flower in the bathroom so that when you get ready in the morning, you're looking at a flower. Put it on your nightstand. Set it beside wherever you eat. If you're sitting at the couch, put it by the couch. If you're sitting at a table, set it at the table. If there's 2 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you, whatever, the addition of flowers makes it wonderful. Today I'm going to be demonstrating several different things, sharing with you some ways to do flowers. One I thought that I would do is one of my favorite vessels that I use frequently for myself because it's just nice and easy. It's an old zinc container, so it's metal with the zinc finish. It's not waterproof, so we've stuck a garbage bag down inside. It holds half of a brick, cutting it the long ways. So this is one brick cut in half and then placed side by side. And then I can do a wonderful pave design. Now with summertime, outdoor entertaining, outdoor celebrations, I oftentimes like to add produce. So I did collect some things, had it sent in from the grocery today. So I have some lemons, I have a watermelon, I have some peppers. We'll be using those today. And this one, I thought I'd go ahead just with lemons. And when I work with the lemons for myself, I don't even pick them. I just set them in place. If you're making this for a client and you have to deliver it, then you do need to pick it. And for picking, the easiest is just to use a wood pick. Let me grab one here so that we can do that. I'm just taking a 4-inch wood pick, placing it into the flesh of the lemon, just like so. Those of you that have been to flower school, especially the advanced class, you know this. You've been there, done that, there's no surprises. I always add a little bit of Oasis Floral adhesive right at the puncture point because that seals the wound, makes it last longer, and as it dehydrates, it won't pull away from the wood pick, so it keeps it stable, so it just holds it for a much longer time. So if I was delivering this, using it for a client, I would go through and I would pick all the lemons, and then I could place them in. It's going to be a little bit taller than I want, so I'm going to cut this down just a bit. I don't need it to be quite so tall. And while I start in with my lemons, Carolyn, Marisa, is there anything going on out there?
We've got quite the international crowd on YouTube today from the US, Australia, Johannesburg. We've got Vicky, Tess, Ginger, Salma, Janet, Elaine, and Charmaine. And of course, Tess is from Sweden, so from everywhere around the world.
It is a worldwide tribe. If you haven't introduced yourself, please do. Let us know where you're from, because that way you can meet each other. Maybe there's someone that's online with us now that is your neighbor, and you didn't even know that. So taking a moment, let us know where you're from. Add your tulip, if you're part of the Tulip Tribe, which always brings the question, who's the Tulip Tribe? The Tulip Tribe is our graduates, our current students, and the members of the Flower Lovers Club. Those are the people that support education, support the Floral Design Institute, and are part of our family. The tribe, we call you, the Tulip Tribe. We also are open to the public. You all are welcome. That's what we're here for. But we especially love our tribe. The students, the graduates, the Flower Lovers Club. So thank you to each of you for being here with us. Now I've laid the rest of my lemons on. So you saw I just picked the one. The reality is, again, if you're delivering this, you've got to pick them all. But I'm not delivering it. In fact, I probably am going to take this home because it will be perfect in my house, and then I can use it for my celebrations. I'll probably leave it for Marisa to take some pictures first so that we can show you how beautiful it is when it's finished. But just starting with putting the lemons on there gives it a zesty touch, so to speak. Then adding flowers in a very short pave style. This is the High Magic. Just taking it, placing it down in, helping to break the line of the container, nice and tight. Beautiful red garnet spray roses. And again, just pavéing, placing them in. Now, a good friend of mine, Renee Van Rems, many of you probably know Renee. He is an amazing designer. But he always referred to this as pave yourself to poverty. You know, there's some truth to that because it takes so many flowers to create a very small, tight arrangement that it ends up costly. And if you don't count your materials and pay attention, you can end up losing money rather than making money. So the pave yourself to poverty means be careful. Make sure that you know what you're using and count every single stem that you put in so that you don't end up in poverty, that you just end up in beauty of paved materials. Now you can see I'm grouping some things, putting them together, tucking some lower, some higher, bringing them over the edge of the container so that it does carry through. Then I've got some shorter things that I had used for something else. I'm going to go ahead and just grab them rather than chopping up my long stems. You always want to use what you have so that you get maximum value of everything. So while I'm pulling flowers, Carol and Marisa, what else is going on?
Well, I got to do a shout out to all the Tulip Tribe out there on Facebook. The list is very long. I saw lots of tulips. Okay, so we have Heather and Wendy, Arthur, both Sharons, Therese, Julie, Diana, Wayne, who boiled dahlia stems today, Gayla, Rochelle, Nikki, Tammy, Kim, Scott, Jan, Karen, Elisa, Diane, Patricia, Lori, Roxy, Debbie, Janet, thank you for your order, by the way, and Penny, Molly, Duarte, and the BLT girls.
Grand. So there is a bunch of you out there.
Oh, and Lynette from Kansas is her first time, and Linda as well from Las Vegas.
Linda and Lynette, first timers. So you and the tribe, welcome Linda and Lynette. Make them feel special, make them feel important, because they are. You all are. We all are. You know, if we don't support each other and get excited and do a shout out to each other, why even exist? Because we definitely need us all.
Then I'd like to give a shout out to Olivia, who it's her first time watching on YouTube.
Hello, Olivia. So YouTube people, reach out to Olivia, get to know her, let her know how special she is, and that we appreciate her being here. Now, if you have not shared this video, take a moment and share it. Tag a friend, invite them to come join us, because we want as many people as possible as we create fun things. I'm just getting started. This is the first one, the Pave design, getting ready for outdoor celebrations, but I have a lot more to share with you. Marisa, what's going on?
Okay, so Allie from the UK, since they use a lot of floral netting out there, she wants to know if you could do this type of design using floral netting.
You could, all you would need to do is go ahead and put the liner in so it doesn't leak, then roll the floral netting so that it's multiple layers, because if you do just one layer, it doesn't give you good support. You want 2 to 3 layers, and then press it in place so that it has sort of almost like a squished sausage in there, and then add the flowers. The hard part of that with this particular container is it's so shallow that when you go to deliver, the water just will slosh all over. So that's the negative. The positive is they're going to hold so well, because with just fresh water in here would be a really long-lasting arrangement. Anytime you design in a pave styling, things last so well, because they don't have to work so hard to suck the water up their stem. It just goes straight to the head, and they last so much better. So yes, long answer, but the answer is yes. You could do this with floral netting, and it would be just fine. The other way I've done it periodically, because this is a container I use a lot for myself when I entertain, and sometimes I have made, like 6 or 7 little tiny short tussy-mussy hand-tied bouquets. So I make hand-tied bouquet, cut them very short, and then just set them in. That way, when guests go home, I take a tussy-mussy and hand it for them to take home with them. And you just take each one and hand them out. It's a great way of having a hostess gift for everybody, and then still having flowers to enjoy on the table. So lots of different ways to do the mechanics with this. Once you're in flower school, we try to cover a variety of different techniques so that you can then determine what works best for you and your style, your aesthetic, your customer, and be able to create beauty with anything you want in any style you want. I know that sounds oversimplified, but that's really what it comes down to. At Flower School, we teach you the techniques so that you can then make the decision as to which way is best for you. Because there's always multiple ways to do it. And it's just a matter of which one truly is best for your particular design. What else is going on out there?
I'd like to give a shout out to 2 more first timers here on YouTube, Stacy and Nadine.
Hi, Stacy. Hey, Nadine. Welcome. I'm glad you found us. We always love having new people come because you bring new energy. This whole hour is a collaboration. It's not just about me. It's about you and everyone else. And we all learn from each other. We all really benefit from each other. And it's important to have new people join us because we benefit more. There's always more to learn from someone else. So a question you ask will bring up a new topic, which will then bring up a new question, which will then bring up a new story, and it just keeps going. So what else is going on out there? I'm going to just poke a few more flowers here, and then I'll be starting a new arrangement, but I wanted to just get this one done so it looks beautiful, so that when I take it home, it really is stunning. So Marisa, what's going on?
So shout out to Natalie, who can't wait for October because she's coming here to our Portland classroom.
Oh, Natalie, that's going to be so fun. You will love it. I just started calling all the students for the September class. So if you're coming in September and you didn't hear from me yet, check your voicemail or check the fact that your voicemail is full and not accepting anymore, because I do want to talk with you, go over all the details and how we're going to be doing class and give you an update on our safety procedures so that COVID doesn't become an issue. So September, I believe I have one spot left because I had a student that just moved out of the September class into the online class because they didn't want to wait. They wanted to get started now. They're getting too excited. So we went ahead and just transferred them over to the online class. So that opened up one spot. So if you are thinking about September, like I say, one spot left. October, I believe, has 2 spots left. I might be wrong. It's 2 or 3. I can't remember, but let's say 2 to be safe. So if you are thinking about joining us, get registered, because the way we're doing things now with all the extra safety procedures and protocols, we're only going to have 6 students in a class. So it's almost like a private class. It's a semi-private because I want to make sure that we've got ample space for everybody, that there's no crowding, that everything just works. So be sure and get your registration in early so that you don't have to wonder, oh, is there room for me? Because right now, today, there is. Tomorrow, we don't know. So I've got, whoops. That's why you have to put them in with a pick. But since I'm just going to hold it here, I'm just going to lay it. Then I want to think about the fact that it seems kind of flat right there. What do you think? Is it sort of flat there? What do you look at? I feel like I need something right here. And then the other thing I realized is I only use safflower in that one little spot, which for unity I need to add a tiny bit more. So I'm going to grab another stem of safflower, and I'm going to grab a couple more red spray roses so that I can fill in there in the front where it seems flat. Because a pave style design still needs to have dimension. You don't want it to be too flat. So you have to adjust and fill in, and fill in. There we go. That I think looks a little fuller there. Then I'll come back with a bit of the safflower. And if I do it in the front, I want to carry it to the back so that it isn't flat and one-sided. Okay. Up there maybe.
And Leanne, shout out to Sharon, who will be with us for the advanced class. In
Sharon's
October.
been waiting for so long. She was registered when we had to cancel because everything went into that shelter-in-place phase and we weren't allowed to have classes. So she's been waiting for a very long time. So Sharon, yes, we have your space saved. We are expecting you, and I cannot wait to welcome you back to Flower School, because I know you've been waiting for a long time. And I appreciate your patience, but I know how frustrating that can be because you want to get started. So now, you see how I filled that in? It gave it a little more control there. Let's do a question for the tribe, YouTube or Facebook. What is my color harmony? Go ahead and type it in there. What is my color harmony? Think back to your basic floral design studies. We've already covered this. There's no surprises, and it's a pretty easy one. I didn't use odd colors this time, so it should stand out and should give you an understanding of what the color harmony is. So you're on for that one. Then I'm going to move this off to the side and out of the way. There we go. I don't think I'll take it totally off the table. I think it's probably okay there. It won't disturb anything. And we'll go ahead and move on to a few more things. Wanted to think about casual backyard entertaining because so many weddings are moving backyard or in the house or on the front porch or at the neighbor's backyard because you can't be out in public spaces as easily, and they've gotten so much smaller. Some places are allowing no more than 10 people, others 20 to 30. Some are larger, but a lot of people have cut way down. So oftentimes you want them to be a little more casual, not quite as formal, I guess, just for lack of a better word. They want it to be casual, a little more intimate, a little bit more free-form and frivolous. So I thought that would be fun to grab a little bit of the produce.
Well, I have about, let's see, just looking at here, about 10 to 12, honestly, FDI students here that have the right answer for the color harmony.
Okay, and how about Facebook? Do we, or YouTube? Do we have some right answers there?
2.
2? Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. The right answer is analogous. So if you guessed analogous, you guessed correctly. And if you didn't guess analogous, get out your color wheel, study color theory, come to flower school, because understanding color harmony is so important. Now, the one thing I did do with that that's a little bit different, I'm going to cut this and I'm going to pay attention so I don't cut myself before I talk to you again for a second, because knife skills when it comes to cooking and produce and all of that, I'm not nearly as good as knife skills when I do flower arrangements. Let's see here.
And while you're cutting that,
Oh, success.
can you save some? I'm hungry.
I think I better.
Shout out to Kim Tavendale, who is a recent FDI graduate. She just mailed off her application for CFD.
Wonderful. Good luck. You know, it's interesting. When you come to basic floral design, you get your basic floral design certificate when you successfully complete everything. Then when you successfully complete advanced floral design, the two together earn you the title Floral Design Institute Certified Floral Designer, and you can put FDI after your name, and you are official, you're certified. And then that also qualifies you to test with the American Institute of Floral Designers to get the international dual designation of CFD. So you would be Leanne Kessler, FDI, CFD. So your name, FDI, CFD. How cool is that? And once we get you to the point of testing with the American Institute of Floral Designers, we have a 100% success rate. Because what they test you on is exactly what we test you on. So if you can test with us, you're going to be able to do it with them. It works. So when I talked about my color harmony on the last one, analogous is a blending of colors that creates a pie section of the color wheel. So if I cover up and just leave out the yellows, oranges, reds, that would be the analogous. But if you study color, it actually says one primary color plus adjacent colors to form an analogous color harmony. It doesn't say two primary colors, and that one did have two. It had both the red and the yellow, so you would have to list it as extended analogous because it goes beyond. Normally it would stop before the red, go just the yellows to the oranges into the red-orange, or you could leave out the yellow, but I went ahead and added yellow and red, so then it becomes an extended analogous. Interesting, eh? Little bits. So now, with my watermelon, I think I'll save one part for us to eat. So we'll set that aside. And then on this one, the thing that's kind of interesting, and again, this would be for a party or an event. This is not for a long-lasting arrangement. You're not going to do this and set it in your kitchen for 5 days, because in 5 days you're going to have fruit flies and bugs and it's going to be yucky, and it's like, no. But if you're having an outdoor barbecue and you want something for the time and for the event, this has plenty of moisture. You can actually design directly into the watermelon. So you can just take maybe some yellow iris, tap it out a bit, get it fuller, reflex the petals.
Leanne, I have a question that I would like to ask the tribe. We have Kelly who is thinking about taking our online courses and wanted to see if anyone out there would like to just share their stories and why they think she should.
Excellent. Her name is Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, so the tribe, those of you that have had flower school, basic or advanced or both, let Kelly know what your experience was like. I always tell people, join us on live. That way you can ask the tribe yourself and they can tell you how it went, what they loved, what they hated. Hopefully you didn't hate something. I would hate to think that we did something that made you hate it. Although some of you hate the fact that we make you price it. And some of you hate the fact that sometimes you have to do it twice, do it again, practice a second time. But that's necessary. So look at this. This is just a treat I have to share with you. This iris has a second little baby in there. Isn't that fun? So when this one fades, if you just pick that off, this one will continue to open. So I'm just going to leave him hiding in there because that'll be so much fun. It'll just keep blooming, making it for a very long-lasting design.
Leanne, Barbara wants to know, she's located in the UK and wants to know if we teach foreigners.
We have students from all over the world. So yes, you foreigners are welcome to join us. We have everything fully digital now so that it's easy to send to you wherever you may be. And you can study, get your certification, and then continue on with the American Institute of Soil Designers to get your dual certification there, which is recognized internationally. So yes, come join us for flower school. We'd love to have you join us. So now I'm going to bring in a few of the yellow spray roses just to bring that color down from the top so that it unifies, anchors it visually. Pulling it through. And people always say, oh, that's not going to work. Guess what? It does. It does, I promise you. Working with a watermelon, it has just enough moisture to keep this alive for a couple of days. So you can use it, enjoy your party, share the designs. Is it going to rot? Yes. Is it going to affect the life of the flowers? Yes. Is it going to be absolutely fabulous for a while for a party or an event? Yes. And that's just what makes it so much fun. And with everybody trying to be ecological and focused on making sure that things hold well and that they are responsible for the universe, this does it. Totally. It is 100% responsible designing because there's certainly nothing that is not organic here. Now I'm going to do, just because it's kind of fun, I'm going to bend this and just create a little movement going around. I mean, if you're going to be kind of weird and use a watermelon, you might as well continue being weird and break your flowers, right? And just do something odd. Because sometimes that's what's fun about design, is doing things that are different, unexpected, placing it in.
That's cool,
Come back
man.
and anchor these. You know, today I just decided was going to be a fun day because I knew I was going to be too hot. Am I glistening? I feel like I'm glistening. Is my face red? And I knew that I was just going to have fun and not worry about it. So then I thought, well, we're going to do some kind of weird design. And then it was a magical day for me because as much as I didn't like the fact that we had no air conditioning and world was ending as far as I was concerned, I had lost a necklace the other day as I was designing and couldn't find it anywhere. And we found it. I'm wearing it right now. And it was my mother's, and so I was kind of distraught because I didn't want to lose my mom's necklace. She had given it to me. And I was like, oh no, I've lost it. And it was found. So that was very exciting. So today is a good day. And so design is kind of frivolous and fun and crazy and funky and out of control. But you know what? It's summertime, and that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to keep binding a little bit here. What else is going on?
Well, Marmac has some great words of encouragement for online students. She says online school is every bit as good and in some ways better. You always have access to your materials for life. You have full support through email and phone calls.
Yeah. That's what's unique about our program, is that it is fully teacher supported. So although you may be studying from anywhere in the world, you're never alone. You always have us in your back pocket. Because if that's where you keep your telephone, that's where we are, is in your back pocket. And we're happy to answer your questions and to help you as you are going through your journey of floral design. So, Marmac, that's so true. We're here for you. We're here to do whatever it takes to help you be successful in your flower journey.
Oh, okay. I have two questions for you, Leanne.
Yeah, I'm Leanne.
Boss lady. Going back to your first design, Lynette wants to know if the lemons will last as long as the flowers. And then Uwardi has a really great question. She wants to know if you think the watermelon juice will change the color of the flowers.
Great questions. The watermelon juice will not change the color. So that's easy. That one, they're going to just stay the colors they are. It doesn't change. The lemons are going to last about the same amount of time as the flowers. What I have found is the side that is against the wet foam. Sometimes it will start to mold, but it's on the bottom. People can't see it, and it doesn't hurt anything. So I don't worry about that. But that part will mold a little quicker, but the top, it just starts to dry, and it looks just totally fine. I don't see it as a problem ever, so that works out pretty good. So I'm going to add one more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want 5 here because I just don't like 4, this one. So I'm going to add one more of the Craspedia over here. And then I'll turn it so you can look at it from different sides and see how it comes together. It's just kind of a fun and funky and different design. It's not, it just makes you laugh. So what else is going on while I fuss a little bit and get ready for another arrangement?
Well, Debbie has a great question. She's wondering how much, on average, you spend on flowers doing the basic online program.
Hundreds and thousands of dollars. Not really. We set it up so that you can buy flowers that are in season. You can use flowers maybe from your garden. You don't have to worry nearly as much about what flowers you use, which helps you to save money. We also set it up so that you can use the same flowers more than once. So let's say you buy flowers to create a vase design, then take it apart and make something else and get double value. So students range on a lot of different price points, but I would say per submission, $25 to $50 depending on the season, where you are, and what flowers you choose to work with. Marisa.
Oh, I love this question. Okay, Karen wants to know, so is bind wire allowed to show? How can you cleanly finish it?
Bind wire is allowed to show because it is coated with the paper. The big thing is when you are done, make sure you push those ends down so that it's nice and tidy, which I hadn't done that yet, so that it's nice and clean, and make sure it's not baggy, saggy anywhere. And then I also try to coordinate it. So, if you're using brown branches, use brown bind wire. If you're using natural, use the natural. If you're using green, use the green. And so I do let it show, and it doesn't really matter for that reason, just because you can. This iris just is too close to that other one and is making me crazy. He just won't scoot over. He's not practicing social distancing. But you know what? I don't get to choose. He wants to be closer to the other guys. I want him over there. He doesn't want to go over there. Sometimes flowers are like your children, and they just do their own thing, and they don't do what you tell them to, and it can make you kind of cranky, but you got to live with it because you don't get to choose all the time. The kids get to choose. But sometimes what I can do is come back with maybe a little myrtle and force them apart by sliding this in. So it's kind of like when you put the kids in the back seat and you make them sit on opposite sides Or if you have a van, you put one in clear back and one in the middle and one in the front so that they can't hit each other. I grew up with a big family, so I know all those tricks that mom and dad used to keep the kids separated so that they would survive road trips. Marisa.
Okay, I was waiting for this question. Tammy wants to know if, because you bent the billy balls like that, would it affect the life of them?
Billy balls dry and look the same. They keep their color and everything. So they are not going to drink where I bent it. That is true. Good catch on that, and great question so that we can answer that. You wouldn't be able to do this with a flower that needs to drink, but the things that don't have to drink, like the billy balls, they're just going to dry and still be beautiful. So you're totally fine just doing it like so, and you can get away with it. So just an added bonus. So what do you think? Do you like that one? Kind of fun? Do you think you would do that for a party, a backyard picnic? You know, August just started. You've got the opportunity. Plan a picnic. If it's for a party, great, sell it to a client. If it's for you, great, have fun with it. And then of course, make sure and take a picture. That way you can post it on social media so that people see what you can do, and then they might buy it later. I think this should be fun. This may have to go home with me too. I may have to take a wagon home to get all my flowers home because all of these things just are making me happy. Peppers are another one that I use a lot. And it's funny because I had these delivered today. I didn't go to the grocery store. I was kind of crazy busy, and so I ordered them online to be delivered. And then when the shopper started shopping and I get my little text that says, your shopper is now shopping, I sent him a note and I said, I don't care if they taste good, but they have to be really pretty. Make sure you buy me pretty produce. I think he thought I was crazy. But you know what? He sent me pretty produce. So the other thing I had to think about, but I didn't try to explain to him, is you want them to be able to stand up. So like this one, it doesn't stand up. But you know what? It'll be fine. It will be a more relaxed one. And it's just going to kind of relax like that. But that's the other thing I do when I do go to buy produce is I take a moment and I'll set them to see how they stand with each other and what they look like so that they end up being pretty. Okay? I think I'll just do those. Don't need that one right now. Then, Carolyn, while you're up, would you grab a little bit of wet foam? I think there is a tub right outside the door there.
How much do you need?
4 peppers worth.
Leanne, Donna actually said, do I hear a doggy?
Yes, Foxy is here with us today. I love it. Marisa brings Foxy with her to work many times. Yes, we're a dog-friendly location. And somebody rang the doorbell, and my guess is it was UPS or the mailman coming to collect things. And so Foxy was alerting us, intruder, intruder. So yes, Donna, you did hear a dog. We're pretty laid back around here, especially when it's closed because there's no class. So we can do anything we want, which is kind of special.
Leanne, shout out to Aunt Evangeline. She recently graduated FDI style.
Yes, she did. And I just got a note from her. So Evangeline, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Pretty wonderful. It's wonderful that we get to be a part of your personal progress and to watch each of you bloom, watch each of you begin your journey, continue your journey. You know, some of you come to us for advanced studies. You're already out there working in a flower shop. You are successful, but you want to know what's new, what's different, what's going on. And so we get to be part of that. And it's such a privilege. So thank you for joining us. Now, for those of you that have just popped in, I'll do my usual reminder. Take a moment, tag a friend, and share this video out. Spread the word. Let people know that Floral Design Institute is live, that Floral Design Institute is celebrating with flowers, because we want as many people as possible to join the tribe. And if you're just joining in, make sure that you announce who you are and where you're from so that we can greet you and you can get to know the rest of your tribe. Cleaning out a little more of the seed thing so I can get this in a little further. There we go.
Leanne Sharon says, stuffed peppers.
It is stuffed peppers. You know, and it's funny because peppers are not one of my favorite foods. I don't hate them. I will eat them, but they're not my favorite. But I can't tell you how many times I buy them because I like to design with them. And they're watertight, so you can add water to this. So if you don't like to use foam, you could just fill it with water and do a little hand tie and set it in. Be totally fine. If you want the control of foam, then do that and add water too. They're going to last 4 or 5 days, 3, 4 days. I don't know, it varies, but it'll last pretty well so that you don't have to worry about them dying prematurely. So while I gather flowers, come on, what else is going on out there?
Olivia has a great question. She's wondering if there's any flowers that don't work well when combined with fruits and vegetables.
Well, technically, I'll have to be honest, technically, fruits and vegetables do shorten the life of flowers. All flowers are harmed by all fruits and vegetables. So if you've been in flower school, you know that already. I've told you, make sure to keep your fruits and vegetables separate from your flowers because fruits and vegetables give off ethylene gas and it will shorten the life of the flower. But when you're designing for the moment, they're not going to die enough faster to be a problem. So you can go ahead and just use them and it's okay. I give you permission. Be brave. And there's really nothing that you can't do combined like this. The super, super, super thirsty things might need a larger water reservoir, but as far as most things, they should be totally fine. Shouldn't be an issue at all. Now I'm doing these as a trio with this extra guy too. And so to make sure I have unity, I did orange, orange. I'll come back with orange. Red, which means I need something else red, but I don't want to do another great big flower, so I'm doing one that's a little smaller, tucking it in. Because you want to make sure that although they're all a little different, that they also all have unity together. So maybe doing one of the big high magic roses over here. Aren't those pretty? Oh my gosh. It just is little things that makes it simple and fun. This is the type of thing that you could do with your family. You know, if you're homeschooling the kids, oh my gosh, everybody's having to deal with what does back to school mean and where are the kids going to be. And if you're trying to do homeschool, wouldn't it be fun to buy some peppers and have the kids start picking them apart, learning how the inside has seeds, learning how the balance is to get them to stand upright and be balanced, learning how to tuck flowers in. I think that's a great science project and could become part of home ec too. Wow, how cool is that? Marisa, Carolyn, what else is going on?
Okay, I have a few people I need to do a shout out to. Amelia, who watches us all the time, she's able for the first time to actually send us messages. And Patty is setting a goal by the end of 2020 to come to flower school.
Oh, good.
And Tracy says South Louisiana is really enjoying what you're doing.
Grand. So Tracy, South Louisiana, I'm glad you're doing this, glad you're here. And Amelia, I'm glad you're able to send in the messages. You know, learning this technology is always challenging. I'm always amazed when I go to do things like, okay, I think I know how to do that. And then something goes wrong and I'm like, well, I thought I knew how to do that. And it just kind of makes you crazy. So thanks for being here. I'm glad the technology is working for you so that it works out and you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead here. I've got a couple more stems to put in just to make sure that my mechanics are all concealed, picking it up and taking a look so that I make sure that I hide everything. And you can see how it just sort of makes a cute little thing. These would be great hostess gifts too, so that everybody that comes to the barbecue could then take home a little bit of flowers. Too fun, too easy, too fabulous. I could go ahead and add a bit of yellow with the crisperia.
And Mary, who's with us today, usually is only able to watch us after, but is able to join us live today.
Welcome, Mary. Live is fun because you get to meet everybody and talk in real time. So everybody, a shout out to Mary, since it's her first time live with us. Let her know how much fun that is. And again, greet each other, get to know each other. If you're part of school, let them know, I did basic, I did advanced. And remember, we have somebody on that just wants to know how it was for you. So if you can share your experiences, go ahead and just type it in. Let people know what your thoughts are, how it worked for you. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of spin these around a little bit so you can take a look, and then I'm going to set them aside because I've only got a few more minutes and I've got more to do. So there's my peppers. And yes, there's foam inside. Yes, there's watertight. They're going to hold plenty of time for a party, celebrating COVID style. Right now we all need celebrations in our lives. We all need to have things that just make life better. And I find that history and traditions become more and more important. So as I was gathering vessels, I found this jar. This was actually one of my grandmother's, and it's got a coffee label on it. I can't remember which kind of coffee it is. Let's see here. Golden West Vacuum Packed Coffee, right here from Portland, Oregon. So way back in the day, before coffee was trendy, there was a Portland roaster that did vacuum packed coffee in jars. And my grandmother had this, and when she passed away, I snagged it because I just loved that tradition and knowing it was hers. And then this was an old jar. That's old. Look at that. Miracle Whip from a long time ago. We still have Miracle Whip, but this is the old lid and the jar that went with it. And then I was going through my own cupboard. This wasn't Grandma's, this was mine. But just looking at little silly things. And this was just a little cupcake cup. Because sometimes you just want to take and bring things in that you remember from your childhood, that you remember from life, and then incorporate them in. So gathering some materials here. While I gather, if you guys have thoughts and questions, and if you have a question, ask. You've got me for about another 10 minutes, and I'm yours, so pick my brain.
Well, I want to do a shout out to Galena. I haven't seen her in a while. She's one of our students as well, and this is the first time she's been able to join us live too.
Hello there, Delana. I'm glad you could join us live. A lot of you are first time on the actual live. That's pretty exciting. It's hard to squeeze time in the day, isn't it? There's always something that gets in the way. So I'm honored that you joined us, that you gave up an hour of your life to join the collaboration. Yeah. Okay, got Salal here that I just cleaned up, so that I've got that ready to go. Then going back, I think I'll stick with the same color palette because I want this all to coordinate. So I've got some safflower, I've got some high magic roses, and each of them I'm just kind of stripping down, making sure that it's going to give me a nice fresh look. Don't want the dead foliage, don't need that. There we go.
Well, Leanne, we have Genevieve who's with us, and she's taken the Basic, Advanced, and the Wedding Specialist course, and I think that was all the DVD courses, but now she's wanting to take our new online workshops.
Hi, Genevieve. Yes, you knew. If you were part of these are dead. Whoa, these are kind of floppy. I think I won't use those right now. If you were part of the DVD generation, you're going to love, love, love the new program. Because when we moved everything to fully streaming, fully digital, We totally refilmed, we updated everything. It's all new information, all more expanded, better, on trend. It's so fabulous. When we started with our online education, we actually started with VHS tapes. I know, online by way of VHS tapes.
Didn't you find some the other day?
I found an old.
We have, I've got boxes of the old ones because I have one of everything that I wanted to save, just because I felt like you gotta have it. You don't wanna not have your history. So we did VHS tapes, and then we went on into the DVDs, and now we're into streaming. It's just kind of amazing how time has evolved. So Genevieve, you will enjoy the new programs. I can promise you that. And you'll discover that much of the science of design has changed since you were with us. The care and handling is different than it used to be because the science has evolved and we know what is better now. So you'll have to kind of brush up on some of your past information so that you're current with what is now, because it has changed. It's all different. So this time I'm just making up a little hand tie, tucking it in. So I did a pave design, I did a linear design, I did sort of a little tussy-mussy style in the peppers, and now I'm doing more of a hand tie. I'm just kind of weaving it together, bring it around.
So come the fall time, Anne, by any chance, Peter wants to know if you will possibly be doing any designs with pumpkins.
Oh, Peter, you know we have to do pumpkins. I love pumpkin design. And if you go to Floral Design Institute, so our website, and you go to the resource library, you will find, if you put in pumpkin, you will find several videos that are already there with pumpkin design, but I'm sure we'll include them in live as well because that just sounds like something we would do. I can't imagine we wouldn't because we all enjoy the fall and we enjoy working with pumpkins, so I could just about guarantee you that yes, that will be happening. I would say so. So I've just kind of clustered these things in my hands now, and I'm going to go ahead and tie this off.
Diane is asking if you sell any of your old DVD lessons.
You know, the only thing I have left for DVDs, we do have some, and they've all been marked down to $9.95. They used to be $29.95, and now everything that we have in stock is $9.95. And I know Carolyn has been so diligent about keeping it organized so that it hopefully is what's truly in stock. We try really, really hard, and she's been following up on that, and every time it gets down to just one, she changes it so that it disappears. And so yes, if you go to the website, floraldesigninstitute.com, and then go to shopping, and then go to videos, you will find what DVDs we do have left, and they are still very good. It's just that we're no longer producing DVDs. So yes, you can go there and look and gather what you might want so that we can send them out to you. And like I say, they're only $29.95 now. They are marked down because we are just closing out everything. So if there's something there that floats your boat, grab it. And then when it's gone, it'll say 0 and it'll disappear and it won't be there anymore. So I kind of put that in. I don't like the way the collar is, so I'm going to need to go back and just add in a little bit more of the salal because I want to break the line of the container. That's something you learn at the very beginning, basic floral design, so you know that if I didn't go back and fix this, it would just be wrong because you need to break the line of the container to create a unified look from top to bottom. So I'm just going to tuck this in around like so, just adding it, creating a collar effect right at the base of the design.
We And Tammy has a great question in regards to the arrangement with the lemons. Is that an interpretive Flemish style?
Flemish generally has more proportion to it, but Flemish does give you sort of a look of Della Robbia. And so that's what I would classify it as, more Della Robbia than Flemish. Flemish, you would need to have a bug or a critter. You would have to have some things that were off season. But if you use Della Robbia, a lot of times that was done in friezes, and it was very flat and sort of a terracotta with a lot of lemon. So it would probably be more appropriate to refer to it as a Della Robbia style. And using the word interpretive is great, because that gives you the freedom to be a little bit liberal with your interpretation. Anytime that you add the word interpretive to it, it means it's not directly 100% what you're referring to, but a variation of that item. So interpretive would be a good way to put it. So just tucking some things in here. What else do I want to stick in there? Maybe a couple of the little green mini carnations. So I've got about 5 minutes, people, and it is so warm in here, and we're all sort of sweating and sweltering, so I know we're not going to go long. We are going to be stopping pretty much on time. So if you have questions, ask away, and you can see I've got my little cupcake holder now. Yes, that's what this was. It was a cupcake holder, like you bake cupcakes and put it in the oven and so forth. But I thought it was a flower holder, kind of worked better. So now I've got a pave, a linear, clustered, whimsical, hand tie. Marisa, what do you have there?
Okay, I have a pricing question, but I think it's a very good one. This person is asking about finding that the old school method of 3 times is making arrangements too pricey. What do you suggest with the price of flowers increasing, as she's finding this to be a real challenge?
Pricing is tricky, and I will agree with you there. What you do need to do is evaluate what you're paying for things and search out the best value that you can for your customers so that you can get the markup you need and still be profitable. Right now, what I'm finding is that if you focus really heavily on perceived value, so leaving stems longer so that you're actually selling the stem and the space and the open air is easier to get the price point that you need than when you tuck them very close like I did in the pave. So when you do a very tight pave, it's very difficult to get the full price point that you need. Also, search out which varieties have similar characteristics that are maybe less expensive, that are maybe in season, so that instead of doing a yellow rose, you might do a yellow carnation. Instead of doing a yellow carnation, you might do a yellow chrysanthemum, so that you can adjust your pricing by variety, and that all helps greatly. So pricing is tricky, and if you are part of the Flower Lovers Club, I think I've got 3 different pricing formulas in the library there that you can refer to. So I'm going to grab one more thing. So chat amongst yourself for just a moment. I'll leave this so that that looks pretty. Chat amongst yourself for a second, and I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody out there. How are you doing? Hi. We only have a minute. What is she doing?
I don't know.
Oh, what's that? Oh.
Okay, so now I knew we were doing entertaining, and I knew we were doing celebrating with flowers. So I gathered some things from my house to kind of finish it off and share with you how I would do things if I was celebrating with flowers, and making sure that I truly did everything, that I made it perfect in all ways. So I told you I liked to think about collections and heritage and history and things. So this was a tablecloth from my mother-in-law, who she used to collect all the vintage tablecloths. So I grabbed the tablecloth from my mother-in-law. You can see I did not iron it, but that's a detail. So we're not going to worry about ironing right now. So don't call me on that. I just know. But I'm going to go ahead and set that down. So when you're entertaining and celebrating, even if it's just for you, because sometimes that's the most important person, you. You need to celebrate you. And that means going ahead and getting the tablecloth out. Getting out dishes. Make sure that you've got everything you want. I love my chicken plates, so I brought my chicken plate, and then I put a charger that David hates this charger because it kind of makes things floppy, but I love the charger for summertime. And then I just like red. And then I grabbed a napkin because even just taking the time to use a napkin that's cloth can make things so much more fun. Get things laid out here. Then adding your flowers. Bringing it in. And of course you have to have a glass of wine. Think about this, am I on the right side? I don't know, who knows? Trying to think right, left, back, forwards, I'm not very good at that. Bringing in my peppers. And you might not use all of these all the time, but just thinking about different ways to do it. Maybe bringing in the watermelon, that comes over. Maybe having a little vase of flowers. We'll just put them over here because I'm running out of room on my table. Of course, I need my little clown feet, so I'll put that over here. Do we sort of show everywhere? Does it all come out?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I
It's
got
gonna be
it
quite
in.
the setup for me tomorrow for my photo shoot.
I know, we've got it all together. Then, of course, since Carolyn and Marisa have been here with me, sweating in this hot, hot, hot room, I think we really do deserve a glass of wine now that we've survived live without air conditioning. So we'll have a glass of wine with our carefully set table, celebrating celebrations. Now, my challenge to each of you. Take a moment now, before next Wednesday. I want you to celebrate with me. So between now and next Wednesday, do some flowers and set up a celebration for you. Yeah. Set up a celebration for you, and then take a picture and post it. Tag Floral Design Institute, tag Do Something You Love, and tag Celebrate with Flowers. That way we'll all see it, because I want to see what you create. Maybe you get a little whimsical, maybe you go pave, maybe you do a vase. What are you going to do? I know that I'm going to join the girls and have a toast to celebrations with flowers. See you next week. Get out there and do